Well, hey there, lovely people. This is Sean, and I'm at the lovely place. And we were here all day yesterday. This is really the first time that we've been down to work in many weeks, maybe like 8 weeks. We had COVID, my wife and I. It was 3 solid weeks of just being down, not being able to get out and do anything. And it was bad timing because it was right when we were planting our seedlings. We had already had them out, kind of acclimating to the weather, and it was time to plant. So we were late getting everything in the ground and in our raised beds and so on. So finally we were able to get down here yesterday and get some cutting done that was desperately needed in our fields. We unfortunately allowed the weeds to get way too high, and I think a lot of it maybe came to seed, and so we're not looking like we're going to have a good season. We're really looking forward to the fall and the winter to kill this stuff out so we can start over. But yeah, take a look out this way and you can see out beyond where I've got a bunch of brush piled still. You can see that we've got a beautiful cut field out there, and we got our rolling hills, so you don't get to see all of it because it rolls down and back up, and it's just gorgeous though. But yeah, we're gonna go out today and I'm gonna cut a little bit with I'm gonna use the Polaris 550 4-wheeler, pulling the Swisher brush cutter behind it to try to get some of the harder to reach places that we have with the tractor and the bush hog. There's just some hills that are, in my opinion, too steep to go on with the tractor. And so we got some equipment out, about ready to get to work. I'm gonna probably take the bad boy and do a little bit of work. I've got some catching up with you to do on this thing's an issue that I am dealing with. It may just come down to a traction issue. I'll just tell you real quick, when I pull back on this left handle, when I'm going down an incline of a hill, it does not want to turn left ever. Now if I pull back on the right and push forward with the left, I can turn right, but the opposite just doesn't work. I took it in because it's under warranty, and they called me back and said, we don't see a problem. I mean, the wheel is spinning in reverse, and it's just not getting traction to pull you back so it can cut to the left. However, when this one spins, the right one in reverse, it doesn't spin, it actually gains traction and you can cut to the right. So I don't know how there's a weight distribution issue on this, but we're gonna see if there's anything that we can figure out. If anybody out there knows what might be causing this, please tell me, because I would love to figure this out, because I bought this not only to do this grass area out here around the barn and over in the woods, but also down there at the hill, as you may have seen in a previous video. But this morning I'm going to take the Sportsman down, pulling the Swisher, and we're going to cut some of the stuff that's up and down the hill. This is of course the tractor we used yesterday with the 15-foot 3150 Rhino Batwing with this 75C Case IH grapple. My chainsaw, oh my goodness. Guys, I've had some equipment issues lately. I mean, at the same time, I had the bad boy in the shop, and you just heard the story on that. I've had the steel chainsaw, the MS261C, in the shop for over 2 months. I'm gonna have to just create a little video that talks about that, but so far I'm not really impressed. It's under warranty, but I have no chainsaw. By now they should have replaced it and given me a new chainsaw. I'll tell you more about that in an upcoming video, okay? Because there's just a little bit too much to talk about here. And at the same time, we're having our PTO disengagement difficulty on the Case IH 75C, which is also in a different video. We'll talk more about that as well. I've already had the dealer come out to look at that, and to no avail. But I'm still talking to other folks and asking questions. So my wife's gonna get on the Polaris Ranger. She's gonna meet me down there. She'll get a little footage of this Swisher in action and this four-wheeler, and let you see what this thing can do on the hillside. By the way, this is the an area that you don't get to see from where I was shooting a moment ago. This is, I mentioned rolling hills. You can see that this peaks up here and it rolls down and it rolls again. And so, I don't know if you can tell, but right up in there is the opening to the driveway. The driveway goes up, it curves there at the crest, and it curves back up into the woods, and we just think that's beautiful up that way. And then you got a tree line here, and we got another field on the other side of that tree line. But where we're going to cut today is right over here on this bank. You can see that it's still high grass there. I'm going to take this four-wheeler and Swisher and get some of that. I can't get down there to the ditch because it's just too steep. I'm going to use the DR walk behind to get that. I went and bought some weed killer, and so not today, but in the near future, we're going to be spraying this entire driveway and killing all this grass all the way up through here and these weeds, so that we can come in with some crush and run. And we already got a great base of 2 to 3 inch rock under here. Before I do that, however, I am going to rent a Mini X, and I'm going to take some of this up, because on down the hill we got some really deep rutted out ditches, so we need to pull some water off of this before it goes down that hill. And I'm gonna have to take that mini excavator and round out all these ruts, and down that way I'll probably get some riprap and put in there. So there's a ton of work to do, lots to see here at the lovely place, so keep on coming back. Let's see if we can get this Swisher started and get to cutting. So I don't know if you guys have really seen one of these, and I think in a previous video I introduced it and we did some trail cutting with it, but this is the deck adjustment right here. I think I've got it about right where I want it, but you can screw in or unscrew that to raise and lower this. It really just raises and lowers the front end of it. This is the engagement for the PTO to get the blade spinning. You've got a key here. You have a choke right there to pull out. I already started it up there, so it shouldn't need to be choked, but let's get this thing started and let's get going. Oh, got to turn the key on. Okay, it's on. Here we go. Allergies, gonna wear a mask. All right, let's do this. Okay, well, that was pretty awesome. My wife did a great job filming that, and I think that we've discovered that Swisher is the most efficient way to do it. The bad boy, it seems to, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it seems to, when I get down to the lower part of the hill, you know, when you're trying to turn it, it's going to tear up the grass a little bit more. I believe I'm going to have the best traction, the best capability, especially to get on the side of that hill over there. I mean, that's the best I've ever done it with any piece of equipment, except the walk behind DR, of course. But obviously we're trying to limit any walking as much as we can. But yeah, that turned out really good. The reason I didn't get that really high stuff, there is an extremely deep rut there. Like I mentioned, I've got to get some new tiles on up the driveway to divert some of that water runoff, but that's almost 2 feet deep. So I can only get so close before I drop into it. As a matter of fact, you might notice when I was going through there earlier, I did actually drop off in there. The rear tire on the left side of the Swisher, it popped down in here, and it knocked off a lot of the bank I had created to keep the water from rutting out any of that bank. So when the water hits, the design was to go and hit these rocks and go into the tile, and it's been doing that great. But I'm gonna have to come up here and get my gloves and kind of do a little bit relaying of this rock. But this actually did pretty well. You can see what I'm talking about when I say about 2 feet deep. I'm telling you, this was a drop off right here. So I didn't want to get any closer than I did. And I'm gonna come down here with the tractor. I'll lower the bat wings and I'll get some of this with that bat wing. I'll be able to get way over on the side and get a few feet of that. But yeah, I'm real pleased with the Swisher on the hillside. I think I've determined that that's the way we're gonna go here from now on this hillside. Anyway, thanks for joining us today here at the lovely place. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button for me and subscribe. We'd love to have you to be a part of this and help us make this land more lovely. Thank you.